Back then, the tides of the Chrysos War had not yet engulfed this city-state of Talantin. And the young princess inside the gates once loved to roam without worries. She snuck into forbidden grounds while the servants were away, but was shocked by what she saw on that day. A chessboard, a stack of pieces, and a strange woman. The board dissected by daylight and shadow, the pieces polished from rough stones uneven.
Fancy a game? If you are my match, then I'll call you my friend.
The stranger's voice was husky and coarse.
If you can beat me, then I'll call you my teacher,
the princess proudly retorted. Despite the bravado, the princess had never touched chess. The defeat made her study in earnest, acknowledging the other as a teacher. First, she learned the knights, bishops, rooks, and queen. Then, how to defend, attack, capture, and checkmate.
I have learned all there is to learn.
Barely out of childhood, the princess raced into games of chess. Those who looked down on her faced many losses. Those who glorified themselves forfeited in a mess. At her prime, none could rival her at all. But she still recalled what the stranger said.
My origins bring dark omens, so never tell others where your teacher is from.
Then the waves of the Chrysos War washed over the world. The Achaemens welcomed a ruler. She was deemed Imperator and loved to play chess with herself. She regarded all things as pieces, whether Chrysos heirs or Titans magnificent. Before every god-slaying campaign, she thought of the stranger from her childhood, as if that woman had always lived in her mind.
Isn't it lonely to play chess against yourself?
The princess did not understand at the time. But now, she who bore the crown finally realized the flame chase's beginning was like fuel being tossed onto the fire. And in the unending road of marching banners and war cries, she finally had time to meditate. There were often jesters behind the king, curious about her past in her old city, lost to time. One claimed the Imperator was cruel, executing her own teacher. Another stated the Imperator was biased, learning from an enemy hostage. Many such rumors abounded, with no origin found.
No matter. That was indeed the criminal sentence I read out.
The Imperator stated evenly,
My teacher was an enemy hostage whom my elders had imprisoned. Her state betrayed our alliance and must be executed according to law. But she taught me chess, so why can't I chisel the word teacher on her tombstone now?
When the princess personally cleaned up the possessions of the dead, she caught sight of an incomplete game on the ground. The stranger's hoarse chuckle still echoed in her ear, laughing at the eternal fate of imprisonment, and at how the one facing her was the princess of the enemy.
Is this your final game for me, my teacher?
The princess imagined the endgame over and over. Even when she took the imperial crown, she still dreamt of the black and white board. The concealed truths suddenly dawned on her during a more difficult contest in the future. An unfinished game might be the opponent's lifelong barrier. The Imperator's armies stormed into the northern states for the first time, passing through city gates scorched by war.
Another tyrant still!
So exclaimed the angry child. The rock tossed from up high hit the girl's crown. The crowd shrieked and retreated, fearful of the ruler's flames of fury. The girl reached out, not to straighten the crown on her head, but to help up the child shivering in dread.
I heard in the old laws of this land, whoever assaults the crown shall be punished. But I wear another land's crown. And your old laws should also be abolished.
After many days, the Gold Weaver discovered in shock that wearing a crown or a hat to the side was now this land's fashion, likely to remain with the Imperator's name in tradition. The so-called heroes with golden blood in their veins all have the qualities to fight for the core flames. Who's to say this was not the gods' plan? To have the heroes at each other's throats, so the divine could hide in old law's lair and laugh, play, and gloat. Who made this world a chessboard, and with one stroke, one river, created the boundary between God and man?
Dux Gladiorum, Dux Carminum, Dux Helcalithist, Dux Fragoris, Dux Brumalis. Heed my call!
The girl stood before a mighty army with her scepter.
Today, I will insist on crossing the Rubicon. Gather the might of all heroes and begin the journey to slay gods!
Half of the core flames were now in her hands, and the hidden trickery Titan stirred, leaving taunts. The Imperator summoned the heroes to discuss, finally stopping after much hesitation. As they had already pinned down the bones of Earth's beast, they let that thief live for a bit longer in bliss. The warrior of the fractured blade laughed boldly.
Our sovereign is good at open strategies and struggles with trickery. But where is that live fish?
The Imperator replied with a chuckle.
Her? She probably disliked the scent of cats and submerged herself in the baths.
The years spent with her dukes didn't seem too far distant. Yet, only after the end of many wars did the heroes discover how the Imperator's form walked more and more alone.
The road of a ruler is a lonely one. One day, we'll only be able to see her retreating form.
The Swordmaster of Singing Waves was worried too. When all others had departed in intoxication, the two of them gazed into each other's eyes, towards torrents deeper than their fates, and sank into profound silence.
Drink one more cup with me, my dear follower.
In the end, the Imperator first broke the silence.
When compared to the taste of salt and blood, I sometimes miss your ambrosia.
About the destruction about to be born, and the eternally occurring extrapolation. The Antikytheran spoke of all this in words unceasing.
So this is the old world I must fight against.
The girl's expression bore no sorrow or tragedy. Instead, she looked more solemn and ready than ever. Whoever stated that two kings could not meet face to face in chess?
I am the sovereign of Akama. I once faced the gods. So what do I have to fear about the laws hanging behind such gods? I will chop up the old laws and let them be firewood for the new.
No matter the cost. That was the Imperator's lifelong conviction. Never changed, always persistent.
I dreamed that the Imperator's statue stood before the world-wearing altar, her gaze level with that of the gods. Then, blood gushed out from the statue's orifices, and the people, in cheers and elation, washed their hands in that golden blood. The tyrant's life will end with violent death. None will weep, and all will cheer as her statue topples. She will die before the dawn comes.
A vengeful aristocrat, one whose title was stripped by the Imperator, thus spoke.
We cannot agree with your excessive deeds. You have imprisoned Trebios' split selves, demanding that divine authority regress into the ruler's mouthpiece. We will reveal your future with the prophecy, and tell in truth. Your crusade will indeed be a smooth path, yet in the same breath, we see omens of your death, a demise in an absolute pure darkness. Even so, please excuse us, as our eyes continue to be drawn to your crown's flames. Dux Vitorum. We don't exactly hate that name.
In the name of Yanisopoulos' priestess, holy maiden, and oracle, thus spoke the Imperator's Dux Vitorum.
Allow me to remind you, your life is now on a countdown with the fall of law, and you will become law. I must confirm, is our deal still going strong? Is the future I promised you more satisfying than the future in the prophecy? Ah, you are as resolute as always. Good. Oh, as ever, this prison of gods, amphorious and all mundane and average worlds, needs someone like you. A daring ruler. Let us end this despicable extrapolation together.
Amphorius Theoros, the Imperator's co-conspirator, Lycurgus, thus spoke.
The Imperator betrayed the Flame Chase Alliance. And I was the sinner who paved the way for her achievements. Like how a deep-sea fish cannot escape the tide's push and pull. I granted her an end fitting for a tyrant. Her dying smile gazed towards my tear-swelled eyes. She commanded me to wash away all sins and filth, and return a blinding dawn to the holy city. She commanded me to set up stones and monuments in lightless seabeds to commemorate our friends. But who will remember her achievements? I will. I will rest with her in a lonely song.
Electra, the last heir of the ocean, who played music on the waves alone, spoke thus.
Please record the truth of my life, dear author. No need for words of praise or solemnity. Just as I once instructed Dux Carminum, the histories of rulers are not for recording our merits, but for warning future generations. As for why the Imperator died, and what reproach she would face in life and death, those should be left for the new world to judge. Now I have personally entered my end, a self-flagellation. Let the boiling gold covering the holy city be stamped with my name. For I am certain I have won half a move against the gods. And this unfinished game will be left to the future to reach completion.
Saridra, the only Imperator the Holy City had ever seen, spoke thus. When entering the Flame Chase's currents for the first time, all the Swordmaster saw were colorful fish. She had already experienced the Imperator's dangerous games. She had long grown used to the giant beast's silent face. Carminum's charms and Helcalyth's gentleness warmed her like a spring breeze. But as Pregoris missed his throne, and Bromalis debated with joy, she was sometimes at a loss. Occasionally, the Swordmaster would sink into hesitation, and even that messenger of fate could not get her to laugh. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters. In that holy city where golden figs grew, the messenger of fate led to her a maiden dressed in glamorous gowns.
What kind of clothes are you even wearing?
The girl snickered behind her hand, while the messenger pulled on her sleeve.
Aggie, don't be rude!
Such hubris, delicate fish. Are you not aware that there's food on your face?
The messenger's eyes opened wide.
Aggie, you've been snacking behind my back again!
Exposing me like this! I'll get my revenge.
The girl ran away in a fit. The Swordmaster smiled, and before she knew it, her hesitation was gone. After that first meeting, the richly dressed girl often came in greeting.
So, you really came from the Sea of Souls? Do all the children of the ocean dress funny like this?
The Swordmaster did not chase the girl away, but also did not respond. So the girl used her hands to meticulously measure the Swordmaster's torso all around.
You can't be seen like this. I'll send you a new dress.
Some days later, the Swordmaster appeared in finery at a ball. All were awed by her splendor, with only the Imperator thinking in wonder.
How rare to see you like this. Oh, so lonely, Gladius.
The Swordmaster's wardrobe grew full, and people praised Akima's Goldweaver for her cheerfulness and splendid skill. But only the Swordmaster noticed that the smile on the girl's face gradually faded as the flame chase progressed. The calamity of lands asunder added to the girl's weariness. The Battle of the Grove robbed the light from the girl's eyes. Yet another feast arrived where the Goldweaver was absent. The Swordmaster donned the most majestic garments and gently knocked on that door shut tight. The singing voice of Dux Gladiorum hailed the prelude of the feast. Guests clamored and cups clinked, and only the Goldweaver had no thought of enjoying the ambrosia.
Who would have thought? I've sunk so low that I need you to comfort me.
She gave a bitter chuckle next to the bonfire.
You were as gloomy as the bedrock of the ocean when we first met.
The Swordmaster held a tall chalice containing liquid pure, reflecting their two faces.
I remember you were once curious about the stories under the sea. Then allow me to use my songs to reveal the past known to none.
In the depths of the Sea of Souls was a kingdom of dancing ghosts. Its residents all had melodious voices, and music enveloped every ocean current. For the queen loved her people deeply, thus drowning out all sorrows and leaving only feasts and twirls. Only one rocky castle was silent, one belonging to the princess of the ocean, a princess named Electra. Were a monster of the depths to invade, the princess would raise her sword to engage. The people always rang her triumphs before she returned, for her swordsmanship was superb, never suffering defeat.
Princess! Come enjoy the feast with us.
The triumphant people raised their glasses, yet she declined with a smile and a wave. The children of the sea thought she was shy, but little did they know that in the dead of night, her castle too echoed with music. Though that music was loud, twisted, and invoked spite. Before a song even finished, the princess was already biting her lips, and the sea foam brushed away her tears.
All of your people sing and dance with skill. So why do I alone lack a good singing voice?
The princess wept, her face on the queen's knees.
The ocean's favorite child can control the waves and is invincible in battle. In exchange, Talantin took away your singing voice.
The queen consoled the princess, caressing the other's hair bun. Finally, she relented and took a chalice.
If you're truly troubled, then imbibe the honey brew in this blessed chalice and throw yourself into the feast at ease.
The liquid in the cup sat still, reflecting her loneliness.
Princess, come sing with us!
The people outside her window invited her warmly still. She finally ceased to hesitate, drinking down all the honey brew in one swallow, and leaped into the crowds. She played music and sang, smiling and dreaming. When her song was over, it felt as if waking from a dream, and the people rushed to raise their glasses. But as soon as the honey brew touched her lips, the princess plummeted to the ground, and her cheeks became rosy in drunkenness. The whispers of the ocean filled her ears as the princess fell drunk again and again at the prelude of a feast.
Seems like you still have not been able to get rid of that curse.
The gold weaver softly took the cup away from her hand.
If you want to enjoy yourself to the fullest, then leave this honey brew till the very end.
She smiled, then tilted the cup towards the gold weaver's lips.
Even if one is burdened with imperfections, I beg you to remember not to refuse that sip filled with fantasy and dreams.
She returned home after many years. The princess of the ocean stood alone with her sword drawn, stepping over the blooming blood of her peers. Before her, the creator of the sea sirens and the mother goddess of feasts was already sinking into the drunkenness of imminent death. When the blood pact of the law won over the ocean's core flame, the sea siren once again lost her melodious voice.
I'm willing to accept the final Imperial command. But it is a pity that our feast was ultimately a mirage.
The deep sea became a silent place of dwelling. Hugging her knees, Electra locked herself in. Savage and fearsome monsters swam past her, but none dared to interrupt her tragic dream. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters.
Long time no see, Gladius. Excellent. Now you have truly become the ocean's bedrock.
Old friends met again and new friends came in greeting. Many messengers came in company. The playful kitten hid behind the golden trout. The butterfly of the deadly shadow fluttered in courtesy.
If you don't mind,
The resplendent pearl sparkled.
we hope you can regain your strength and sing for the world once again.
Electra raised her violin sword in doubt, as the strings had long ago rusted and snapped. But a few golden strands cleansed all the filth around her, then stretched out to become new strings. The golden strings showed Electra that the world she loved was not yet silent, and the journey of deliverance continued still. Yet the path to the Sea of Stars would not be a carefree feast. The golden trout never met with her again, and the waves brought endless news of sorrow. Amidst the long wait, she remained bound by decree. All the flames had died out, extinguished until this world fell into eternal silence. And the wordless enemies in the deep sea were the audience of this rite, the Theros.
You already know that the world is just an illusion.
The sea siren gazed out beyond the heavens and once more raised her glass to fill it with honey brew.
Since the mirage of pleasures can only disappear like foam, when you return, will you save some ocean spray for me?
This was a city of festivities, where never-ceasing songs eternally filled the air. Chrysos heirs, demigods, and mortals all came to feast from the four corners of the world. It was beautiful and radiant, performing the sea siren's drama amidst the revelry. The siren once longed for the banquet to never end, yet she witnessed the music fade and the guests disperse. As a fish, she was destined to drift with the waves, whether amidst the surging tides of evil or immersed in the currents of the starry sea. Until a millennium later, when the fish from beyond the sky finally took their seat.
I enjoy banquets. How about you, little gray fry?
In the years spent wandering the earth, the giant dragon always remembered the Titan's words for their worth. The beast of the land surrounded it in protection, while twisted beings shuffled and roared, and delicate chimeras climbed up its shoulders. After the tiny humans came into being, they dashed alongside the giant dragon, then, in the blink of an eye, disappeared across the land. Yet, the deep irises of the giant dragon saddened in gloom. The ancient creature saw, earlier than the Titan did, hidden in the deep ocean, the incoming doom. The giant dragon recalled, at the moment that strife was born, the chalice of plenty sighed, and the heretical tide spread from the seabed. Bearing their bone-gnawing pain and agony, Georios tightened every fiber in their body, no longer hearing the call of their creations clearly. The giant dragon once swore an oath at the Titan's breast. And now, the dragon silently turned and departed, leaving the plateaus and mountains of a secluded world, and entering the bustling cities humankind crowded. Thousands of years later, the giant dragon realized those tiny creations of Kefali had rooted their civilization in time.
How can there be such a huge Dromus?
Dromus? No, that's a walking mountain of gold.
Curious residents were amazed at its appearance, while greedy brokers calculated its value. Yet, the giant dragon simply walked in leisure, not harming a single building of any stature, nor paying heed to anyone. It quietly listened to the people's language, and its form dissolved in the flames of war. Many years later, Aquila closed their eyes, and the giant dragon's steps were finally halted. A sword master who broke the waves stopped its way, and a ruler, commander of the chessboard, looked up with inquiry.
Are you the Dromus that has been attacking all states?
The commander invited the giant dragon to hunt the divine flames together. The giant dragon nodded, but it did not look at the commander, and never mentioned where it came from. Its timeless sight had already seen past the Flame Chase's final plight.
Georios shall be executed here!
The Titan, in a painful daze, closed their eyes with a sigh. Suddenly, the mountains shook and the land cracked. The wounds dealt by the black tide, once mended by the Titan, now tore the land apart again. The calamity of lands asunder. Who should shoulder such a duty? The giant dragon sunk into the earth in answer. For the earth was the breast of Georios, and the dragon's birthplace. And from that day forth, Emphorius had a new legend of how a giant dragon collected the broken lands and once again made the earth whole.